September is Save Your Photos Month, and if you are researching your family history, this could be one of the most important months of your genealogy research year. While everyone is backing up and organizing their photos, I want to share with you something that most people are probably going to miss. Those old family photographs that you are backing up and organizing, they're not just stories, they're not just memories. They are actually genealogy research leads. And they absolutely deserve a place in your genealogy research toolbox. Before we jump in, if you're new here, I'm Lisa. I'm a genealogy researcher, and I help people discover their ancestors and their heritage. If that sounds like something you're interested in, you're in the right place. Now, I'm very excited about Save Your Photos Month. It is an initiative that was started a number of years ago by the photo managers, and it is designed to help us not lose our precious family memories. But as genealogy researchers, as people who are really trying to understand and seek out more of our family heritage, well, we have another unique need of photographs beyond just saving the stories. So when a photograph is lost, stories and images can be lost, well, forever. But if you're researching your ancestors, if you're trying to find out and understand who your ancestors were, and perhaps what their personalities were like, and to find out who was important to whom, when we lose a photograph, we lose evidence. We lose sometimes the only record that we have of an individual's personality or their relationships within a family. Because those visual images, those photos can tell us those types of information that, well, a dry historical record, an official government record, really can't tell you. So think about it for a minute. You can find the birth certificate of your ancestor, of a grandmother, a great-grandmother. But does that birth certificate tell you who was present at the birth, who held that baby for the first time, or who helped that mother raise her child or future children? What about that marriage record? You found that marriage record for your grandparents. But does it really tell you who all was at the wedding? Who held this couple in high esteem, and who was important in their lives, that they showed up, that took the time out to show up and either be a part of the wedding or just an attendee at the wedding? The marriage records can't tell us that, but those photographs can. So I want us to think about family photographs as more than just a visual image of a family member or the family. I want you to think of these family photographs as actual genealogical documents, actual family history documents, just like you would, say, your ancestor's deed. You would analyze that deed for important information. You would analyze the census record for your ancestor's family. But you can also analyze those family photographs for those types of clues as well. So let me turn the camera around. I want to show you some examples of photographs and exactly what I'm talking about and how to find and create those genealogy leads for future research to help you break some of those genealogy brick walls, or maybe just understand your ancestors a little bit better and grow that connection that you have. I wanted to show you these two wedding photographs. So when you research your ancestors and you find the wedding record or the marriage certificate, it's a fabulous amount of genealogy information, guys. I go after them a lot. But if you have the opportunity to look at old family photographs, whether you have them, whether you seek them out from other family members, I think you can be amazed at some of the clues that you might find here. First of all, this one on the left. So these are actually from my parents' wedding, and what we see is this group of young men and women. Well, it turns out they are actually the wedding party. And so we can see, when I look at this photograph and I identify each of these individuals, what I see are people from both sides of the family coming together. And these are the cousins who were the closest to my parents, both my dad and my mom. And so it gives me a sense of who they hung out with and who was close to them. And I recognize, not only do I recognize their importance, but then I also know that I can go to these individuals perhaps and find other stories about my parents that I didn't know about, or get their perspective on a certain day. So that's an important piece of it as well. The other thing, looking at down here on this right-hand side, what we have is basically the crowd leaving the church. And what I find interesting in this one, and what I would pull out, is at any given time, if this were a photograph that you or I took today, we would delete it in about 2 seconds flat and never think about it. But when we're looking at these candid photographs that, well, are less than ideal, sometimes they can be some of your better options for getting clues. So I would look at this. I would actually, go piece by piece to see who these people were. If I didn't know the date of the wedding, I could, use some of the dress styles to perhaps date the wedding. I would look at who's coming out and do I recognize anybody? These are the people who showed up. They are important to the bride and groom. They thought enough of the family. They were associates, friends, associates, relatives of the bride and groom and their families. And so these people could potentially be, important to my research. So I would look at that. Another thing that I'm looking at, both of these, the building itself. Do I recognize the building? Can I use this building, these little glimpses that I find, to match it up with others that are already out there online? Or can I show it to other family members? Will they tell me where this church is or what this church is? In this case, I actually do know where this church is, but what does that tell me? It tells me a little bit about the couple's faith. It tells me a little bit about where they may have grown up potentially, and it oftentimes would lead to more records as well. Perhaps I could look up church records or explore a church cemetery. Lastly, we can see some of the cars here. This one, not so much, but in others you might find perhaps cars, which would give you a little bit better dating of the photograph as well. So if you are excited about learning a little bit more about what family photos can do and how they can help you in your family history research, be sure and hit that like button. That lets me know that you have a really strong interest in old family photos, and I can then create more content around those and more videos around those topics that would be helpful for you for your research and for preserving your family history and sharing it with your relatives as well. Now, I have another photograph that I want to share with you and walk you through how I would use this particular photograph as an actual document, as an actual lead generator to help further my research. Photograph that I found in an old family album that actually came to me. This original card is a cabinet card, so this is a very typical cabinet card that was in a family album. Unfortunately, the family album had been damaged quite severely, and so the photographs had been taken out of it, and so I don't have any sense looking at the group of photos that came out of it, who was related to whom, or family groupings that I might have gotten otherwise. So this gentleman actually remained a mystery to me for a while, but there are definitely some clues that I could pick up on who he was, how he might be related, and ways to use this particular photograph and to show you how you can find other records about a family or an individual. So one of the things just to note, you'll see here that there's a photographer's mark that has been kind of cut off there. That the photograph had been cut down to fit into a certain spot in the photo album. So unfortunately, I lost some of that, but I'll show you how I overcame that in just a minute. Just very quickly, I did date this photograph to be around the 1910, early 1910s, based on the type of cabinet card that it is. It's based on the characteristics of the cabinet card that are here, his dress, his style, his hair. And so I did date it to that time period. Now, one of the really important things to then think about in looking beyond this, what other clues could be here, would be to flip a photograph over. So when you have a photograph of an individual, whether it's a family grouping like we saw earlier or this one, everything matters. Every mark matters. Every pose matters, because it can help you identify, if not who the individual is, the time period that a particular photograph may have come from. And when you can narrow down to a certain time period, then you can narrow down where on that family tree they could potentially fit. So if this is a gentleman, I know which side of the family that he came from, so I know he's on my dad's side of the family. I can immediately eliminate 50% of my tree because he's not going to be on my mom's side. Then I can narrow it down to he was the 1910s, so then I've immediately narrowed it down quite a bit and ruled out a lot of people. So I can use that to help me do that. Flipping a photograph over, and in this case, you do see there was the maker's mark, the photographer's mark here, but when I flipped it over, I found the full mark here. This is called a photographer's mark. And this is a very elaborate one, indicating it is a later cabinet card. Not all of them will be anywhere near this elaborate, but this helped quite a bit. I will tell you, ignore these words, somebody did identify this gentleman and wrote the name on the back of the cabinet card in pen. Unfortunately, this is not correct. This is not Elwood Richardson, so this is incorrect. But I did. So you can't believe everything you read on the back of your family photographs. So what did I do? By turning it over and finding out that this photographer was Johnson Brothers, and nicely, this being elaborate, they actually even have an address. So 467, 469, Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. Okay, what a fabulous find that is. So I actually did a little research onto the photographers and learned a little bit about it. They had a really nice studio there in D.C. So it wasn't 100%. Perhaps they traveled, but my working theory was my guy in the 1900 or 1910s was in D.C. Well, given a family didn't travel very much, the theory that I came up with, the leads that I came up with, was to figure out if the photographer was in D.C. What about pulling the city directories to see if I could find my guy in D.C. at that time? Been a tourist or not. So that would be what I would do. I would go, okay, well, maybe there's some family up in the D.C. area, so I will create that. That was one of the leads that I had. The other question that helped me jumpstart my research was, DC, is there anything in any of the personal records and papers that I inherited that mention DC and somebody being in DC? And so this was a really helpful way to help me start to build out this side of the family, learning a little bit about who they were, where they might have been, and using this photograph to actually create some ideas, find some clues, and then proceed with my research further. I hope you found that interesting to kind of see how I can take what looks like a very simple photograph, but also how I can find the clues there, how you can find clues to be able to learn a little bit more about the individual, but also how to start to think about how that photograph leads to more documents that will help you with your research. So this next photograph that I want to share with you and walk you through is one that I'm very excited to do so with. It shows the power of a photograph, family history research, and ultimately connection. Connection to the past and also connection to relatives in the present. And I do think that at the end of the day, guys, at least for me, when we're researching and enjoying finding our ancestors, building that family tree, it's about connection. It's about connection to a heritage, to a past, but also to the present. So let me turn the camera around and show you what I'm talking about. This is a photograph taken at my great-great-grandmother's birthday party. So this is my great-great-grandmother here on the left, Clara Holt Haley. I actually don't know who the two men are over on, the little boy and the man are there. But what I had done with this particular photograph, and one of the reasons that I think it's such a powerful photograph and really speaks to us about genealogy research plus the photos plus the stories and what it can lead to for us in the future, and that connection piece that we have with our ancestors or our ancestry and heritage, is that this particular photo was an unknown photograph to me for a long time. Early in the days of my blog, Are You My Cousin, that when it first started out, I actually posted this particular photograph here on that website. And I said, I don't know who these people are. Could you please identify them? I do know who this woman is. This is Clara Holt Haley. Could somebody please tell me who the gentleman and the little boy are? And so I had a reader actually 6 months after I posted it make a comment and say, yes, I do know that is my grandmother sitting there. And so we went back and forth. It was an anonymous comment for a while, and we went back and forth, and the gentleman did identify me. We did make connections. I was able to then meet this side of the family and get amazing amount of oral history on my great-great-grandparents and other relatives I had no idea existed, and was then able to attend the Haley family reunion in Virginia. Took my dad with me. It was the very first one he had ever been to in 60 years. He had attended them as a child, moved away, and after 60 years, I was able to take him to a family reunion because of this particular photograph. So our family photographs, yes, they are important to us in our research. They can help provide us clues. They provide us stories, but they provide us that connection. And so if it hadn't been for this particular photograph, I might never have been able to meet my numerous Haley cousins that are out there. And actually just this past year, attended my second Haley family reunion, as well as my dad's. So this is a very powerful photograph. And this is why photographs are worth saving. I hope you found that interesting and inspiring and helps maybe propels you to take another look at some of the photographs that you have in your family collection as well. Now, to preserve and get the most out of our family photos, we do need to be intentional. And so I would challenge you this month, this September 2025, to connect with the Save Your Photos community. I will have a link to them down in the description below so that you can learn a little bit more about them. But be sure and follow them on social media because you will be able to learn more tips and strategies for saving and preserving your family photos. Now, if you would like to learn more about family photos and how to use those in your genealogy research and your family history research, be sure and start with the video on your screen now.